It's hard to say whether or not Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is the worst flop of all time. Well, there's always Pluto Nash, right? At the same time, Pluto Nash will not have lost as much money at the end of the day as Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. You see, it all comes down to how you look at it. If you're looking at percentages, well, no, it's not the worst flop ever. People actually went to go see Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. But if you're looking at the overall total loss, things get a little less clear about what might now be the king of flops in the cinemas. All right, folks, it is a joy to have you join us. Thank you so much for being here as we wade into yet another attempt to explain entertainment and keep you ahead of the culture curve. What a joy it is. And if you like content like this, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe. And when you click it, you stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. Yes, Indiana Jones, the Dial of Destiny is heading towards historic flop territory. But how bad is it? Where does it place in the top 5, top 10 box office failures of all time? Again, it all comes down somewhat to perspective, although not entirely. We gathered a huge panel to discuss this very topic on the Pro Show this past Thursday. The Pro Show is every Thursday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's wade into that conversation now and find out what they had to say about Indiana Jones, the Dial of Destiny, and where it will land, and the ramifications of such a film from such a franchise performing so poorly.
I ask again, Heaven's Gate has always been the standard for measuring flops. Does Indy Dial of Destiny dethrone it?
Well, panel, what do you guys think? We can look up those numbers and find out. But the problem is that we don't yet know where Indy will land.
I do.
I mean, this could go into hellacious territory. It kind of depends on what happens with Mission Impossible. If Mission Impossible comes in and Indiana Jones, the Dial of Destiny, plummets off of this cliff, then this
what's going to help Mission Impossible is the fact that in order to deal with, I think there were news reports related to Tom Cruise not being happy about the premium screen release schedule vis-a-vis Oppenheimer. One of the things that I noticed is that I originally had tickets to see Mission Impossible Thursday, and I got an email the other day, 2 days ago, that let me know that they are opening up a special fan event. So I'm seeing it Monday at 7 p.m. now.
Oh.
And that's in premium IMAX. So what's happening, I guess, is that because he couldn't roll forward into the Oppenheimer concurrent release dates, what they're doing instead is rolling backwards, and now he's got those IMAX screens on those earlier days. So Mission Impossible will be at IMAX premium level screens and other premium screens starting Monday at 7 o'clock, and they're billing it as a nationwide fan event. Originally, it was only at about 10 theaters around the country. Now they've opened it up and blown it open everywhere. I went to buy my seats last night, and my theater is already at well over 80% full. The only seats left are some in the back and some in the front.
I'd say rolling back the start date is their own little Dial of Destiny, isn't it?
Well, it's interesting you say that there, Mexican Iron Man, because I was looking for PLFs for Oppenheimer, even before Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny came out, and they are packed. They are full. Mm-hmm. You cannot get a PLF anywhere near Oppenheimer's date, so it makes sense that they would want to roll those forward.
So to answer this question, though, we need to get the answer definitively for the Super Chat. Heaven's Gate, we believe, lost something like $80 million. However, it only made $4 million. So essentially, it made nothing, and it lost its entire production and marketing budgets. Indiana Jones, the Dial of Destiny, is not in that situation. But in terms of total loss, Indiana Jones, the Dial of Destiny will surpass it. In terms of the fact that people did actually go see Indy, no, it's not on the same level. So it depends on if you're talking about percentages or if you're talking about just the gross numbers. And yes, Indy is gross.
It's hard to quantify for folks like how much money's at stake here. I mean, we're talking like $500 million invested by the company if you include P&A in this. To give people like an understanding of how much that is, you can get, I gotta bring this back to the parks guys, sorry, you can get a Cosmic Rewind in Anaheim for that much. I mean, this is a tremendous amount of money that we're talking about here.
Jeez.
Specifically,
So,
if we include
Mike,
the,
And it could even be more than that because we've been learning slowly and surely that they're spending anywhere from 100 to 200 more $1 million on these productions than what they're reporting.
so if we go with
Right.
the
well,
domestic,
we've got stuff coming out soon about that, but let's go to Mike because he's got this pulled up for us.
so
Mike,
including
explain to us what these numbers mean.
all right, so including last night's Wednesday night box office, which was released about 2 hours ago, the domestic and international take, if we take the 60 to 40% split, it overall it averages about 50 between the theaters and the studio.
50.
50. That means that although 158.9 million has come in, only about 81.4 will actually go back to the studio because we got to remember the distributors and the theaters have to make money. If we assume the production costs are 350 million and the marketing upwards of 150 million, which I think is a safe bet to make, that means our costs are at 500 million. So far as a studio, we're 81 at 8 plus 81 after the theater split. That means we are currently in the hole at 418 million. And in order to break even, if we take the 2x 50% ratio, we got to get to $1 billion in order to break even. If we go with those numbers, and if we go with
And Mike, that may be why they're cutting the marketing early, which is what we've heard. They may be trying at this point. It's damage control. They're also in the situation where they're trying to buy Hulu. This is actually making it more difficult to buy Hulu. This is such a damage to Disney that it is actually impeding them from doing the things they need to do as a company. It's
because
that bad. This is not insignificant.
They haven't already paid this money. They've spent this money, but they haven't paid it yet. They're going to have to pay production loans on this. First of all, we see you in the chat there, Carolyn. Ooh, this spreadsheet. Thank you for that. And I think we're about to lose Arwen. Arwen, do you want to tell people where they can find you real quick?
Yes. Y'all can find me on YouTube and Twitter at Arwen Avalon. And I want to say something real quick before I leave about the Kathleen Kennedy situation.
Please.
Until I actually see her take a selfie, take the picture herself with retired or fired on her t-shirt, sipping a mojito on some stranded, deserted island somewhere, she's dug in like a tick. And let me tell you, her contract may be up in a year, and people are kind of speculating, well, is she going to leave early? Is she going to leave on her own accord? If she was smart, she would definitely not leave on her own accord, especially since she has lost her luster. She is going to milk that contract for all it's worth. And the only way they're really going to be able to get rid of her is if she violates something in that contract.
Or a can of bread.
Arwen, let me ask you a question about that before you go.
Okay.
Even if Kathleen Kennedy doesn't leave, she has no power any longer, right? Because the only power she has comes from consumers. And that is what has been attempted to be obfuscated for years now by Hollywood. This idea that it's no longer a transactional thing. But that's what it is. It's just on a very huge scale, right? This is the same thing as going to a restaurant. And when you go to the restaurant and you have a bad experience, you tell 10 of your friends. And then those 10 friends don't go to the restaurant either. This has happened now for years. Out of the behemoth that was Disney, people have been telling each other, I had a horrible time at this Lucasfilm movie. I had a horrible time at this Pixar movie. I had a horrible time at this Disney animation movie. And I think we've reached the critical mass point where now folks do not trust Disney. And I think Kathleen Kennedy was the start of that. Even if she doesn't leave Arwen, how much power does she maintain?
It depends, because are their views in lock and step with hers? If they are, it doesn't matter what she thinks or what she says. And the problem with Disney is that they have almost become inoculated to the reasons behind their own films bombing. Once upon a time, one film or two films bombed, a studio would look at themselves and say, okay, what the heck did we do wrong? Now, with all the films that are bombing, they're not doing soul searching. What they're doing is they're saying, wow, it must be them. It must be the audience's problem, because we're fabulous. Look at all these things that we have. Look at all of this. These political ideas. We're with the program. We're woke, y'all. They do not have the sense of awareness as a company anymore that was founded under Walt's values to look at themselves and go, maybe we're the ones who are screwing up.
Can I piggyback off that quickly?
Sure.
I was making a great point, but I'm going to use another Mordor reference, because even if you cut off the ring of Sauron's hand, there was still the Nazgul running around causing crap, right? It's the same as being a Hydra. It's not going to end. And what Pro was saying really makes perfect sense. As soon as Dead Reckoning drops, Indy is going to be out of sight, out of mind, because it is going to fill the gaps that Indy was supposedly promising without crappy CGI or Mr. Ed as a co-star. It's going to give what people want, entertainment, because they know what a Mission Impossible film is. They know what a Top Gun film is. They know that they can trust these people because they're giving what is being delivered. Disney is giving the bait and switch. Oh, you like this? Well, here's our bag of crap.
Exactly.
It's your fault you don't like it.
Well, that is a wrap. Another one is in the can, but we need you now. Drop a comment down below. We covet your comments. We care about what you think. We are only half the equation. You are 50% or more. And yes, you are the electricity that drives everything on this channel. Without viewers such as yourself, we are nothing, and we remind ourselves daily that we need to have an attitude of gratitude for each and every one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Well, folks, if you like content like this, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe. And when you click it, you stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. It is wrapping up quickly. Tom Cruise is on the way, and that means more fun is coming. So it's not all pessimism here on the Pro Channel. It never was, it never will be. And that means, folks, that wherever you are, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.